right, guys. So Paul, meet Danny and John. John, I just met you, so hi, John.
Hey, great to meet you.
Hey,
Nice to
Paul.
meet you both.
Nice to meet you as well.
Paul, we met in Seattle Study Club.
We did, yes.
I got stuck flying home with Gary. No, I'm kidding. That was good. So Gary,
I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So
nice guy.
sorry to hear it.
That was good. Kept me company. So Paul and Gary work for a company called Black Talent Security. So you guys might want to touch base at some point. But and Danny and John are with Swell, which is an app that we use, a software we use for patient testimonials and texting. And anyway, they're both, Swell is new as a member to the iADS corporate community. Black Talent's been with us for a while. I thought I'd be able to show you both a little bit how to navigate and how to utilize the site. Danny, your site's not up yet. We could talk about that after your page is built out. But I figured since I got you both and there's no conflict, shouldn't be any conflict, I could show you both how to manipulate and tour around the site. So I'm going to share my screen in a second here and make sure I'm on the right page. And now you should be able to see the iADS website. Now, Paul, you should have access to this now. John,
Yes.
and Danny, you probably don't yet. And it's community.theiads.org is, and I'll put that in the chat. Let me go to the chat. And then you should have, Paul, gotten like a request to get your password set up, and you'll have corporate members have limited access. And I'll show you what you have access to. You should have the home page, which shows upcoming events. And part of being a corporate member, depending on what level, you'll be able to come on to some of these webinars or happy hour, and we'll talk about that. What our corporate members didn't want was everybody, every company to see everybody else's site. So you'll have limited access. You'll see a button, and each month, by the way, we spotlight a different company. So that goes on the home page. Every month we change that. So it's a nice little extra we do. If you go into the corporate member site, that's where every member is listed here. So there's different tiers and different features of each site. If we go into Black Talent, I don't know why it's running slow. I have a million windows open. And one of the things that members don't have, certain buttons, but Paul, you may have more rights than a member does and be able to go in here and make changes. Be careful. Okay. What I would do, both of you, once your site is up, make sure all the buttons work. Contact us should go to email, or it goes to the site, the contact you part, so that's correct. The Facebook, other things should be working. Now, this is what's unique, and you'll see on this site, there's not been a lot added. And I told Gary, and I guess he's gonna have you do, put in some white papers into the library, put in some announcements. He just had an announcement. I just got an email. So the last post here was 6 months ago. A discussion I would use that whenever you post on a discussion board, it goes email to every member instantaneously. So this is what is kind of like free advertising. I mean, it's not free because you're supporting iADS, but yearly. But now here's how I would use it. I would put an announcement like Gary put in, I just did an email blast. I would add a new announcement, hit add a new announcement, and then I would write something about it in the discussion. So that, because this doesn't get blasted to our members. But what you can do is put the link from this page onto this discussion and say, latest in cyber attacks, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you update your Facebook, whatever. full article here on the iADS site. Here's the link. Paul, does that make sense?
Yeah, it actually does. Makes perfect sense. So then how are the members, how do they receive notification? Is it all 100% email?
Email blast, so they don't even have to go on the site. And we have an app as well. So every discussion goes to the app or their email through their notification. So I wouldn't post every day, twice a day, but once
Sure.
once a week, if something's hot going on in the world, once a month at least. I would say twice a month is fine. Now, anything you put as a PDF, an attachment, will go into the library. And that's kind of neat. So if you have a flyer, a PDF, an article, a white paper, if you put it in that discussion, the software automatically adds it to the library. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I just want to stay on here. So we made the corporate members pages pretty streamlined and easy to manipulate. Now, if I get a post from you says, oh, be careful, Google just had, a hack, and I replied back to that, I say, well, that's interesting. What else should I do? That's where, Paul, you're going to get the email from the members. And that also every member will get that. So if you have a cool live discussion, you'll get a lot of discussion on the one thing. So it'd be good to stimulate the members by helping them. I was speaking to Danny, I said, we don't want an infomercial. We want, like when Gary gave a webinar 2 years ago to our group, he wasn't selling black talon directly, indirectly, fine. You know what I'm saying? So the more information you can share, if somebody wants to read it, the better. I know, I read Gary's stuff. So, all right. So this is your page. This, I would double check everything. I would create an announcement. Okay. Very easy. All right. Title it, put whatever you want in here. If you want a link to anything, you want it to open in a new window, put that here and save it. That's how hard it is to do. And then I would add a discussion. Okay. When you go to add a discussion, you'll notice it's in our site is, if I go too fast or you can't see anything, please stop me, because sometimes I change pages and Zoom doesn't go with me. But you're going to be only able to add on to Black Talon. You can't add on to Danny's swell page, and he can't add on to yours. And then make a subject. And then here's where your body of your message is. You can add an attachment here, which I recommend, because that'll go into the library. And you can also add anything in here. If you look at these symbols, they tell you what they are. So you could add video, you could add images here as well. You could add a hyperlink. You can change the way it looks by headers. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you all another feature. What's nice, if you walked away and you said, oh crap, what happened to that? It's automatically going to save as a draft. If you started creating something and you got a phone call and you never finished it and it's gone, it's always saved as a draft. And I'll show you how to find that. The other the way this is set up really nicely is you can schedule a post. So if John is up at Sunday morning at 3 a.m. writing all your stuff, Danny, and he wants to write for the whole week or the whole month, he can do a couple of things and schedule them all when they get posted. Okay. So the question is, okay, let's see what happened. I started creating something and then I can't find it. Everything you have is under your profile. So we're in my profile now because I'm logged in here. Paul, were you all set up already? Did you get like an email to set up your password? Because I could impersonate you.
I did not yet. No, I think the original went to Sue Griffin, our COO. So I still have to go through. I'll go in and register.
Let me just check, but I'm going to show you, don't let me lose track. I'm going to show you where. Let me go into members. This is members, and I want to see community admins. Okay, so we have Sue
Yeah.
Griffin, Art, Paul, you are in here.
Oh, okay. She must have added us then. Okay, perfect.
If you don't have a way to get in here, you can try logging in and reset your password, or I can reset it.
Okay.
So now, if I'm Paul Murphy, let me go to, I'm gonna impersonate you, Paul.
Okay.
Hope you don't mind. This is how we can test things out. So now, Paul, what would be nice for you to do is fill out some of this in your profile. And that'll be for you too, John, when you get set up. And Danny, you can have. So here you can go ahead and change your photo right here. And you can put some links, and just a little bio is nice. And that helps with actually SEO. And you're not a specialist, but whatever else you could fill in. And there's a,
Sure.
this is where your mail online goes. It also goes to your email that you have here.
Okay.
This is what's called the profile up here. See this little picture here? If you click on that and go to any of these buttons, it's going to open up. And so if you had put a contribution in, you hit contributions, my list of contributions, here is where your drafts or your schedules would be. Okay.
Perfect. Mhm.
One more time, because I'm used to this. I've done this more than once. Go to your profile. Here you can go into, either any button, because they're going to appear here again. Okay. And this is your account. This is, but you can create a signature for your discussions here as well. I suggest you set that up. But here's where your contributions are. All right. And then your discussion signature, this is what it's going to come up as, whatever your variables are, depending on, you guys have used websites. I'm sure this is familiar. All right, let me show you. Let's stop impersonating you, Paul. Thanks for letting me do that.
Sure thing.
And on the home page, we'll just go to a discussion. So here's where all the current, so if you did a discussion tomorrow, yours is going to go to the top of the list on the home page, by the way. And that's how that works. So and then there's more discussions. So here's a bunch of discussions. Just to give you an example, this is something I posted, and just to show you what it looks like when it's active and live. And by the way, this is another thing we'll be able to do for your company, a banner on every community site. We'll be doing that. This is an upcoming course. So I posted this, and this is, somebody wrote me back, and this went on for a lot of discussion. Okay. So that's what it looks like when a discussion's live. And most of our discussions get 3 to 4 responses to them. The library gets built out once people post. This is how it looks. So if this was Swell and you had a bunch of PDFs, they would be across here. And then we can later on organize them by topic. All right. Which our implantology admin hasn't organized this yet. So the library doesn't have a list. How does that look? The other thing I'll show you is our webinars are all, let me go to the webinars library. They got rid of my button here. Gotta fix that. We just updated it. So we have about 55 webinars. This, by the way, you should have access to, and you can invite guests. And I have Gary Salmon somewhere in here under, let's see where he is. This was one that Gary did. And this is how they're set up. So we had 6 people view this, and people could watch our introduction here to get. So it's pretty well set up.
So Alan, just a quick question on that. After, I know we have an upcoming webinar. Is that something that we could grab the link and put that in to, start a chat around that? Hey, for those who didn't catch this, or,
Well, we do that automatically, so you don't have to.
okay,
do that. So whenever we post a new webinar, it goes back on the webinars page, and we post that it's now on demand. So you don't have to do that, but you can make a comment under discussion to push it more even a week later. So
okay,
every time, let me see, I think I posted, today we put a webinar, and I'll show you what we do. Oh no, I don't see it on here. Oh, here, treatment plan, and just, I worded it a little funky. Under webinars, this is now on demand. I should have started now on demand, Dr. Rick Schwartz. So this was posted today, and Rick's was just put on. And then his automatically goes to the top of this page, right here. And then, so I spoke to Gary, he's gonna put together another webinar also. So it's automatically put on the webinars page, but it's also in the library. And so that if you put it, a link to that, it'd be perfect. So it goes to the top here in the library, and then then it gets sorted out by topic. So I got off target a little bit, but that's the main thing that I think all ties in with all our corporate members is these webinars. And if there's a webinar coming up and you want to invite guests that are preferably dental specialists, by all means. Okay, but the main thing I wanted to go over today was using your page, which is underutilized by most corporate members because they're not used to this format, I think. And what's nice about it is, like, I'm going to look at for an email. I usually clean them up, but I'll show you what an email looks like. I can go to deleted, hold on. So every time, let's see it today. When you're looking for something, you can't find it. Isn't that the way it goes? I mean, I'm not right. Give me 1 second. I want to just show you what an email looks like to members and what your emails will look like.
That'd be great.
Okay, so I think I gotta just change the look. So here is new share. So this is my email that came in. It was from me via International Association. And this was what I posted. And if I click on that, I want to make sure you see my screen. You see the email?
Yep.
So this is how the email gets to a member. Now they can reply back to the group via email. They can reply to sender. They can post a new message. They can go right online. So it's a million ways to access it.
Okay.
So that's how it looks to the members. And then there's an app. But let's get you started with this first. The app is limited. It has discussions, but no events. Let me go back 1 minute to the website just to make sure. So when you have access, and Paul, you let me know if you have any problems getting on. So you're gonna have access. You should have this is the home page. You'll have limitations just because for security reasons, and members don't want corporate members involved with their discussions. But when you post a corporate member discussion, it does go to latest discussions list. To get to webinars is under education and webinars. And then right here's the library part of it. The other option is going into corporate members, going to your page, and you'll be able to click on others, but you won't be able to see anything. That's what when we interviewed a lot of companies, they said we don't want others to see what we're doing, vice versa, even though we don't overlap with many we haven't really added too many more companies till we grow. We don't want to be too much corporate. So again, you go in here and you could also hit the participate button, or you could add to the discussion here. They both do the same thing. And when you hit participate, you're going to post a discussion. You'll probably automatically default to your community. I have access to every community. But like you'll go to Black Talon, okay? Subject, body, post it. Again, Paul, what I would do is I would definitely do some announcements also, and then bring people's attention via the email.
Sure.
Okay. And again, the library will come out from here, but so this was something that I kind of stimulated discussion 6 months ago. And this was a course I think Gary had. Any questions
Yeah, I think it was.
about this at all?
Makes sense.
Okay. All right, I think we covered it pretty well, and I would, people say how often, let me just show you, like one of our other companies is Millennium Dental. See if they've been a little active. So there was a few discussions and announcement here. So they had a course, click to register, but then the thing that they don't always do is this will only stay here on the page. So if they don't visit this page, it's really not doing a lot for you. If you add the discussion with a link to it, that's a lot better.
Okay.
And then there was a discussion here, I think. Oh, this was a course. All right. Paul, you good?
I'm good. Yeah, very user friendly.
Great.
So that was.
You have
that's
my
good.
cell. You have my cell. If you can't get on, I can always reset your password. And as long as you don't go too much into the settings and just play around on here, you can't do too much damage.
Sure.
But as a moderator, you'll have a little more functionality. Like I have the ability here to edit and trash somebody's post, because of my administrative things. Members won't be able to do that. All right, I think Paul, you're good. Danny, you want to stay on for a couple of minutes? And
Yeah, let's.
let me just stop the recording and